Hi everyone! I'm trying to be quiet because I don't want to disturb any activity that might be going on the bird feeder behind me. Of course they've all flown away, now I'm here making lots of noise. But this weekend is the big garden bird watch, where around the UK everybody spends an hour watching their bird feeder and counting all the garden birds that come and visit, so that we can do it as a part of a larger study and see what's going on with the bird population in the UK. But I think it's a really brilliant opportunity to have a go at some really quick paintings. So what I've got here are some gorgeous little sketches of the birds that I've done whilst watching them, because they don't give you a lot of time at all, and I just thought, what a perfect way to just try some quick sketches, being really loose with the brush, because they're here one moment and then they're gone. So grab your paints and let's get started. So the reason I think this is such a useful exercise is because a lot of you ask me, how can I become more like an artist? I want to be able to paint my own pieces and just get on with it and things. And I think sometimes the biggest challenge for us is getting out of our own way, being too precise and perfect and wanting to do things really well, which obviously is a really good trait to have, but it can also just stifle creative bravery. And one of a series of really useful techniques that they do in lots of art schools and any kind of art classes is something called timed paintings, where you have a very limited amount of time to do a painting. I'm talking 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes. And what's brilliant about it is it forces you to just get something down on paper and be quite expressive and loose and scribbly and messy, and maybe something very different to what you're comfortable with. And there's nothing like a bird jumping on and off a bird feeder. Nothing like that for a timed painting situation. So we set up the camera and got some amazing footage of some of these birds hopping on and enjoying the peanuts. And I thought what I would do is just give you an example of how I would approach painting them. So I've got my size 8 brush, little scrap of watercolor paper here, because I like to do these in my sketchbook or little rough cuts of paper. And then I've also got my fine line pens. Now this set of fine line pens, this exact set, are available in my Etsy shop. They're Daler Rowney. They are colour fast black fine liners, and they come in all sorts of different thicknesses of nibs, but you can get that set in my Etsy shop now, and you can head to the episode notes below for that. Right, so I'm going to paint a great tit, which is a really lovely kind of bird, and I'm just gonna go for it. Large brush is what you need, and we want a nice confident dynamic stroke. So here we go. And this was my idea of desperately trying to capture them before they ran off or flew away. So we've got they got a bit down the middle. And the other cool thing about this is when you're just doing very sort of intentional directional strokes, you paint with a much more vibrant approach to your watercolor. And I'm always kind of pleased with the results. But like I say, there we go. So that is my bird. I'll just place a few legs on just to... Okay, that's my great tit. And you'd be like, excuse me, I'm sorry, what? But you'll see it on the video. It's going to just let it dry, and then I'm going to scribble some lines on it. So it's like a line and wash, essentially. Okay, now let's do a sparrow. So what I'm going to do for my sparrow, I'm just going to get some brown tones woken up in the palette. So get your colours ready. I think that's the big tip. I've got a really sort of dry raw sienna up here. It doesn't get used a huge amount, so. And then I've got raw umber right up in the corner here as well. Okay, so let's do a sparrow in as quick a time as I can. And I tell you, like, I'm nervous too. I'm feeling kind of like I'm not sure what's going to come out of my brush. Okay, just a few seconds more. It's going to leave the bird feeder. Okay, cool. Done it. Got it captured there. And then I can just maybe get that on the page and we'll give it some legs. And then we're going to do one more. The final bird I'm going to do is my favourite bird, which is the nuthatch. So I've got some cobalt blue deep here. And the thing with the nuthatch is you always see it upside down. So it has this amazing blue, sort of sky blue coat, and then it has like an orangey underbelly. So and I just love how you see it like sort of clinging on upside down for dear life. And then it's got this incredible sort of superhero mask. Okay, the whole point is not to be precious. So just one last little plumage there. Brilliant. Okay, done. Terrifying but fast. Now what I find really interesting is when I sort of do my research before I do my videos and things and paintings, I don't often see any watercolour artists doing really scribbly paintings of birds like this. And I find that quite surprising because for me this is like the ultimate capturing the essence of the scribble of the bird. And I honestly feel that it's all about that unpainted space, the areas that you're not painting, that really give it its character. And so what's lovely now is I've got these shapes sort of done and down, and now I'm not so worried about sort of being in time for the bird feeder, but what I can do is I can have a bit of fun with doing some scribbles with my fine line pens. So here are a few I did earlier, and here we go. So I'm going to try and stay nice and scribbly. Because yeah, the whole idea is that we're embracing the sort of timed element of this. So, and this also reminds me a little bit of reverse colouring in. I don't know if any of you have my book Draw Your Way, but that is a really fantastic help for anyone who's sort of feeling stuck in a rut creatively. It just helps you sort of free your imagination a bit and be a bit kinder to yourself, whether you're into drawing or not remotely artistic. Okay, I've done it. I'm really happy with that. That's the first one. Look at those crazy legs. Oh, you could put a little sort of branch on if you wanted. I'm happy with that. Okay, so let's move on to one of our others. So sparrow, which is in my case a house sparrow. So it's got this kind of interesting sort of black pattern on the wing. So as you can see, I'm doing my best scribbles, but I really like them. So I think what I'm trying to get at is that whether or not you are able to sort of birdwatch like this, and you haven't sort of necessarily got the pressure of the timing of the birds jumping in and out on the bird feeder, just having a go at this kind of creating and this kind of art is so valuable for your creative development. Honestly, I can't tell you, it makes such a difference to free you from the shackles of sort of being precise, being photographically accurate, which is a painting style I've never really been good at. Like, I can paint things that are accurate to a point, but I'm not really interested in being completely perfect, because I love that art gives us just something more than just perfect depiction. And there is my house sparrow, and finally my favourite of all the birds, if I can pick it up, the nuthatch. So the nuthatch, I did actually manage to get the beak in there. There goes the eye, and there goes the amazing black superhero mask. The pen size, by the way, that I'm using is the 0.3, which is a sort of mid-sized brush in the set. So it's got a slightly paler plumage under there, and then we've got, it has really long talons as well, because it's so acrobatic in the way it grips things. So I guess it really needs those long claws there. But yeah, again, really happy with how that's turned out. I love this style of doing things because it's just so expressive, and birds, they move so fast, don't they? And capturing them is quite something. So if you have enjoyed this kind of style, then first off, congratulations, because it's a little bit scary to suddenly go from nice sort of measured slow detail into really fast, loose line and wash. But maybe have a look outside your window, see how fast you can scribble down a bird. And you know, afterwards, if you've never seen that bird before and you just got a flash of colour, you could always check it out online, find a photo and pop in a little bit of the pen detail if you really wanted. But the fact is you've taken that first step in being a bit brave with your creativity, and that's all I ask of you. And if you were interested in my reverse colouring book and what on earth reverse colouring is all about, then head to the episode notes below, where you can grab a free PDF download page of that book, so you can try it out before you buy it, and then you can head to my Etsy store and get yourself a copy, a signed copy no less. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!